Well, tough luck for the boys, but the performance doesn't suit the results.
Of a second game against Polokwane in a few days again, another tough one for sure. Let's keep the focus and just worry about the next one.
This gentleman here, this guy is here. I'm not alone. We did not do it alone. And I know it's not the last game that we are playing, but it's a game that we are saying, thank you, gentlemen, we worked very hard. This team will be in the Premier League next season.
He's found his man and turned on the follow and that's put away.
For me, it's just to thank them, Lerato. We've been through tough games, and we had that belief that would do it.
We should have had more. We should have had more game management in terms of how we retain the ball.
Now it's important to recover the boys, to share the energy from winning. And obviously today is a special day in Portugal, it's Mother's Day. So, especially for my mom and my wife, obviously this one. Recover, see who can start the match in the best way and go for the next one and just think about the next one now.
Not the most convincing first round, but he's done so well.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Extra Time. I'm your jersey number 10, Thomas Mlambo, and Extra Time is the show that takes you back with the action that dominated the scene when it comes to domestic football in South Africa. And what a story this last week's football has been. What are the big stories? I need you to tell me what you think. Give me your tweets, give me your reactions on some of those stories. Kruger United are promoted to the Betway Premiership next season. Another team from Mpumalanga. If you're in Mpumalanga, are you there? Tell me about Kruger United, how you feel about them being with the big boys next season, and we'll show you how they did it in their most recent game over the weekend against Black Leopards. But I want to hear from you. If you are from Mpumalanga, if you're a Kruger United fan, what was the secret to making sure of promotion for a club that are only 3 years old? That is fascinating. Then, what else took place? Well, in the Nedbank Cup, it was Durban City writing their name for the first time on the Nedbank Cup trophy, and KZN. You guys need to stand up because it's been a while since the trophy has headed down to KZN. Durban City are the team to take it down there after beating TS Galaxy. What do you think there? And then, the last topic I want you to keep your eye on, and maybe this is one that you might engage in even more, is that on Wednesday night, it's the big one. It's Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, and that game is live on your World of Champions. However, there's been a lot of conversation in the streets, in the studios, when you speak to people, about what it is, especially when it comes to the Amakhosi faithful. What is it that is the priority there? You're the guys at home who are fans of Amakhosi. Is victory at all costs what it is that Kaizer Chiefs fans are hoping for against Mamelodi Sundowns, or are you torn about what the impact of victory for Kaizer Chiefs over the defending league champions Mamelodi Sundowns could mean in terms of the league title chase and Orlando Pirates? I'd love to hear where you're sitting as far as that is concerned. Are you a faithful Amakhosi, victory at all costs, no way that Amakhosi can lose 2 games in a row, or are you okay if it doesn't go Amakhosi's way against Mamelodi Sundowns on Wednesday night, given the league situation and the rivalry between Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs? Hashtag SSDski. Let's have those conversations. Send through your tweets. Can't wait to read them on screen and in studio to give their perspectives on all of those topics. First and foremost, it's Booth, Matthew Booth, the formerly Mamelodi Sundowns man, and a man who's done the business when it comes to domestic football. Matt, any of the topics that I've just thrown out to the viewers you want to jump in on?
It's a little bit childish to intentionally want your team to lose.
That's the player's perspective, right?
In a big game. I tend to think that the Sundowns Chiefs games in the past 10, 20 years are actually rivaled from a ferocity point of view. The derby, the Soweto derby. So, I think it's going to be fire.
The thing is, I'm getting something different, though. And Pumuzo, maybe you're also hearing something different. When you bump into an Amakosi fan, they seem to be like, well, you know what, I'm not so sure about how I feel if Chiefs win. And that potentially hands the title, if it goes Pirates' way with the remaining results, hands the league title to Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, Yasha is Sundown. At the moment, Yasha is Sundown.
And then?
And you need a one stop. But when you're looking at Sundowns, you can see the intention of the players is to say, we want to win everything that is left. There's been 3 trophies this season. We've not gotten our hands on any trophy so far. There's only 2 trophies left for us as Sundowns. Is the league, is the Champions League. And they're saying, this double, we're not going to let it slip. You look at the mentality even on the field, the way that they are celebrating each and every goal, it says a lot about the intention of Mamelodi Sundowns.
I'm going to come on a high press on you now. Yeah, press again. You've worn the black and white of Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
If you were on the field in a game where, as a Pirates player, you knew winning hands the trophy to your arch rivals, Kaizer Chiefs, how would you have been feeling on the field back in your playing days?
Obviously, I have to do my best as a professional to say I need to do my job on the field of play. I don't care about the streets. I don't care about social media. I'm doing what I get paid to do, which would be getting maximum points for my team. I don't care what that does. That's why they say professionals will always tell you it's one game at a time.
I'm voting for president. Wow, that is a fantastically nice answer. I'm not voting. Politics are more shy. Because Matt, you were impressed by that answer as well.
Yeah, and Pumuzo's quite right. You've got to separate the banter that goes on social media from the reality of the situation. Inside the changing room, as a pro, you take everything very, very serious. Pumuzo's quite right. You've got to separate the banter that goes on social media from the reality of the situation. Inside the changing room, as a pro, you take everything very, very seriously.
All right. So, are the supporters at home feeling professional, or are you torn? That's the question that you need to ask. Hashtag SSDski. There's the log table for you, and it's so tight at the top of the table. Mamelodi Sundowns, though, with a week that was truly impressive. 6 points that they got in their 2 games against Polokwane City. Now making sure that gap extends to 5 points at the top of the Betway Premiership, and we'll give you all of what our thoughts are as far as that is concerned. However, let's get straight into the 30-second strike. This is the part of the show where we show you a moment that caught our attention, that made us feel amazing or go, wow, that's incredible. And then we make a case to you as to why we think that is the best moment of the week. Usually, I go first, and then second, and then third. Matthew Booth normally goes first. Let me look here at this tweet, and it says, my 30-second strike goes to Panenka Lebu Mutiba. Okay, well, I am aware of what everybody's going to do, right? And Matt, ordinarily you go first.
No, that's not the case.
However, this week, because of that tweet, no other reason, because I still think this is the best moment of the week, let me take you to what took place between Polokwane City and Mamelodi Sundowns. Imagine this moment. Here it is. Penalty. Mutiba versus Matebula. And the decision that is made requires the kind of courage that only a man with incredible courage can have. Because we've seen this movie before at the Africa Cup of Nations. Panenka, the little dink from Mutiba kept out by Matebula, Score is only 1-0. Courage is in no short supply in South African football, and I love that. Because Panenka, Korafu, Panenka. It's Bindi Pela, and I love that. Mauna Bindi, you need to play soccer. You need to ask for the penalty. That's my 30-second strike. Panenka.
I just, Thomas, I'm just looking at the way things are so tight. And if the league ends up being decided on, on goal difference, and if it's decided on 1 goal, it will be very interesting. Anyway, I'm saying the way the league is so tight, and it might have to be decided on goal difference. Then you go back to moments in the season, and you look at that moment as one of the moments.
I have a problem with what you're saying.
No,
my problem with what he's saying is that Mutiba didn't miss that on purpose, right?
No, I didn't.
Absolutely trying to.
Where did I say on purpose?
No, I'm just saying.
But you don't try Panenka in that situation.
Why not?
I agree with Muza, but you got to put it in context. He had come on with his first touch. He had created an assist. He's up. He hasn't started a lot. So now the adrenaline's up. He grabs the ball for the penalty, but then again he tries a Panenka when he should have just slotted it. And I agree with Pumuzo. It could come down to goal difference. So looking back, I know Lebo's looking back at that, and he's probably disappointed in the choice he made in the moment.
The two of you, it takes courage to take Panenka. These two are Banayo. Panenka. Let the Panenka never die. Okay? Yar. Okay. Next. Sure, guys. I know you guys cheated this week. So it doesn't really matter.
Number 3.
I just have to decide which one of your moments is more significant than the other. Matt, you get to go next. What's your 30-second strike?
Oh, winning a cup is...
I know what the last one is, so that's the problem for you.
I think this is more deserving of the moment. This team, I was a little bit, judging from the outside, they put up with a lot in Pietermaritzburg. Harry Guada almost being pressured to leave, had to rebrand. A little bit disappointed that they've changed 2 coaches, Badela and Hunt, which have left a bitter taste in my mouth. But still, they've managed to get silverware. And this is quite incredible from Pizzo and his team. Congratulations to them. Well deserved, and a great piece of silverware for the young team.
Absolutely. Fantastic moment. 30-second strike that sees Durban City, champions of the Nedbank Cup. The fairy tale story comes true. Now, I'm only going with you. I'm only going with you, lad. Because, when you're promoted to the top division, and what that means financially.
Yeah. No,
because... Okay, Kuluma again. Your 30-second strike.
The bold moment of the week has to go to the goal that is scored here. It's a back heel coming from Ndlovu. But we're not only celebrating that back heel from Ndlovu that gives them the lead. What we're celebrating here is a status worth 12,000 being moved to a status worth 50 to 70 million. And this was done in style by Kruger. With a game to spare, they are already getting promoted to the elite league of South Africa, which is the Betway Premiership. So the bold moment of the week goes to Kruger United, moving a status from 12 million to 50 to 70 million. That's the bold moment of the week.
Yep, that is pretty good business. They bought the status of Carolina FC in 2023. And then turned that into Kruger United, and have gone this season on a run now towards the end that was truly like it's the kind of form that just burns out the opposition. 6 wins in a row. Promoted to the Betway Premiership. Congratulations to Kruger United. And we can go to the match. Let's take a look at how they wrap things up against the Black Leopards and the celebrations, what it means. Winning a league title is amazing, but promoted to earn your place at the big table of football. Guys, that's got to be something maybe as special as winning the Betway Premiership is to be the champion of the Motsepe Foundation Championship.
And they only lost once in the last 13. So that's
4 games all season.
Yeah, 4 draws, 4 losses. Phenomenal. When you look at comparisons, you look at perhaps Wrexham, the way that they've been promoted every single season from the 4th division. So to do that in 3 seasons, that's quite remarkable.
There it is. No one can catch Kruger United. The job that's left now is for Milford, Cape Town City, Hungry Lions to fight it out. Castrick Stars also in the mix there to battle it out in the remaining matches as far as promotion to the playoffs are concerned. But Kruger United, guys, Kwanyamazana Stadium, they have done the business. The top scorers in the league so far, 42 goals they've had. Lost just 4 games all season, 17 games, 4 draws. It is the kind of fairy tale story that I don't think anyone could have written, and I don't think you would have predicted when the season started. Was Kruger United your side to be promoted automatically?
No, not at all. And I know that you see Black Leopards being put to the sword here. I know that Pomozo is going to be heartbroken. The position that they're in, second from bottom, looking quite dire for them as well. And when you look at this performance, no wonder they are second from bottom. A
brace. Ketutula Ndlovu scoring the 33rd, then in the 66th, and then wrapping the action up here at Kelimpilo Ngema, 72nd minute, 3-0. Leopards are done. That wasn't important. This was the 3 points that takes them out.
When you look at some of the quality players that they have, they've got Malepe, who has been to the Olympics. It's not a small thing to go to the Olympics with their nation. You look at Ngema that comes from Amazulu, and Jovo coming from Eros, Makubela also Orlando Pirates and Golden Arrows. So some of the experienced players that they had in the team was really crucial in getting them promoted. So for me, I think a job well done, but hopefully they get to keep those players or majority of the players that promoted them, because we've seen a lot where the players that promote the team, only about 30% of them are left when they come to the elite league. The advice that I'll give to the management is to say, keep the guys that really promoted the team and just bring experience here and there to balance the squad.
Welcome to the big leagues, Kruger United. The big question is, can you stay at the big table next season? Love to see that happen, but it's going to require a lot, Matt.
Yeah.
And if we look at the bottom of the table, Baroka already.
They're already done.
The R there says relegated.
Black Leopards second from bottom. They've got to get their act together if they're going to jump Midlands from Pietermaritzburg. And it's all down to player recruitment, Thomas. The good thing about Kruger is the fact that they've been promoted well within time. So now that they can plan, they're not mixed. They're not being worn down by possible playoffs or having to delay their plans. So I hope they do that successfully.
It's painful to watch the log, Thomas, because already coming from Limpopo, there is Baroka that has been relegated. They're from Limpopo. Black Leopards, if any of the teams above them win a game, Leopards are gone. So it's a sad day in Limpopo for 2 teams that command such a following in terms of supporters. You look at the infrastructure at Baroka Village, something that now is going to ABC Mutipa. It deserves to be in the Betway, it deserves to be in the Mutipa Championship, the facilities at Baroka. Now you look at Black Leopards, 1 more win from any of the teams at 31 points, it means Black Leopards are also gone. It's a sad day for Limpopo.
But nothing sad about the month of May for our viewers at home. We're calling it May Mayhem because of all the finals that are taking place. You've got the IPL final, you've got the final day of the Betway Premiership, you've got the FA Cup final, you've got the Champions League final, you've got the CAF Champions League final. The finals are just finaling everywhere in May Mayhem, and on the World of Champions, we are bringing them to you. Enjoy this. We're going to a break, and then we'll be back with more Extra Time. Let's get straight into the Betway Premiership action midweek. There were big games that took place, and we're starting out with the match that saw Swelele in action against the Kaizer Chiefs. Now, I need tactics, I need trends, because Swelele come and win this game by 2-0 against the Kaizer Chiefs, who were unbelievably ferocious against Orlando Pirates in that Soweto derby. There, Matt, take me through how it was that Chiefs, who were so solid in the Soweto derby, were pierced by Swelele, and it didn't even take too long for that to happen.
Yeah, not only against the Pirates, but also in their previous 7 games, 5 wins, 2 draws. And I think they just probably overextended themselves now coming up against Siwele, who are playing in the evening, great counter-attacking options up front. And they got caught out within the first 6-7 minutes. And, the illustration that we've highlighted here, Monyani plays very, very high up, which is great to see. And that's played into him. He plays a little bit of a risky ball inside. And here, you can see that Chiefs are in the pound seat. They've got 5 against 3, possibly, if this ball can be threaded through. But Makoni makes this incredible tackle, Thomas, which really nullifies everything that they've done up until that point. Now, this little run from Mazibuko had a great game. 4 attempted shots, 2 on target for him. It's a brilliant run against the three-man defensive line from Chiefs. Here, these 3 are a little bit sluggish. Monyani, Pele, and Mlambo a little bit sluggish in the way they're running back. The wrong side of that line, as you'll see, this cutback is going to be brilliant. The shot is taken. Peterson does very well to parry. And Potsani, with his weaker foot, only has one option, and that's to squeeze it down off the ground to the near post, which he does superbly. Ex-teammate, he was very happy in his celebration.
And now you see, big tackle like that one, turning a defensive situation where we were in trouble into a goal the other side. The tactics, the trends, they continue. Potsani scoring there. He's a former Kaizer Chiefs man, and I'm saying that because I want to show you something later, but you got tactics, trends on that goal as well, Pomoto. Tell me more.
When you look at Kaizer Chiefs, you have to look at the structure. And when you go into that moment and look at the structure of Kaizer Chiefs, what you're going to see is that in the build-up phase, they want Munyani, who's a fullback, to be a little bit higher. And when you look at it, you will see that, look at the back 4 of Kaizer Chiefs. This is what we are highlighting now at the moment. The midfield 2 of Trele and also Mabue, all playing midfielders that are sitting as the 2 pivots in this moment. When the ball goes wide, look at that three men of Celtics pressing, include the line, it becomes a 4 versus 2 in that moment. Now, that is the space that Munyani sees. He sees that space. He says, I want to play that ball into that space. What he's expecting from Mabue is to meet that ball halfway. And when he meets that ball halfway, he wants to play a 1-2. Now, he wants to play a 1-2 because he wants to go into that space. Now, when you play a 1-2, it means that Kaizer Chiefs will be set in this moment. He goes there. But one thing that happens is that looking at those 5 players, if that 1-2 works out, it becomes great. But a game-changing tackle comes from Akuan in this moment. This possesses Mabu in that moment. The hand of God is on Potsani. He's going to go on and score the goal in this moment. And when they rotate the ball, now Munyani is high up on the field. Now he has left all that space. Now all that space, they're going to play one pass that goes into that space. And now Mazibuko is on his bike to say, I'm going into that space because Munyani has not recovered yet. Now we spoke about the 2 pivots in this moment. Mabu and Trele, what is their job at the moment is to track, putting those arrows to say, now you need to track your man. If you don't track your man, they're going to expose the space that is left behind. I'm looking at all that space that Lungu has and Potsani has in that moment. Kaizer Chiefs ball watching, they are reacting to the situation. Peterson makes a great save, but Potsani is switched on in this moment to be able to tuck the ball in the back of the net. So one thing about Kaizer Chiefs is the transitional moments are always key. If it comes right, Kaizer Chiefs has the advantage. But because they're dispossessed, Makuani with a game-changing pass, then they go on to score the goal, transitional goal.
Now, Yoho Potsani played for Kaizer Chiefs 2 seasons, 19 games in his time there. I don't know if I've ever seen what happens here. 85th minute, game is still on, and he's substituted out. And this is what happens, right? Take a look at this, give me your perspective. Potsani coming off, Chiefs are 2-0 down, and he goes to the Chiefs bench first, before his own bench, and gets all the love in the world. Thank you very much. Yeah, guys, okay. Yeah, okay, sharp. Nice to see you, boy. He scored against them, and it's middle of the game.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. I don't think I've ever seen that before. During the game, you get a chance to greet and meet afterwards. So, yeah, it is a bit strange. To be honest with you, I don't know, as a coach, I don't know how I would have reacted to that. I probably would have asked him to wait or chase him away because I'm trying to concentrate on the game because the game was going on, at that time. But, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was like, what do you do, Your former player comes to say hi as he substituted or he scored against you. The game is on. Like Matthew saying he's going to say hi, talk to you after the game.
You're asking what we need to do. Where's my camera? I want to show you what you need to do.
Okay.
Shaboy, after game.
But why?
No. No,
Why?
Mamela Thomas, we were there for 3 points. We were about to lose 3 points. Potsani, when he was at Kaizer Chiefs, was he coached by the 2 coaches that are at Kaizer Chiefs now? They were not there when Potsani was there. I would understand if Potsani had a relationship with those coaches. When he was at Chiefs, they were coaching him. Yes, a quick handshake and then we move on. But when Potsani was at Chiefs, none of the technical members at Kaizer Chiefs were there. They asked her for what?
I'm saying, Ubuntu. The guy has come. He has come to your bay. We are being
Look, the fact is, Thomas, it's a great feeling as a player. You know, you haven't had a successful stint at your former team. You know, you're now playing. You've just scored the opening goal, and it's a fantastic goal at that. You know, you see the way he celebrated. So, you know, he's obviously on a high. The adrenaline is pumping, and you know, all credit to him.
Nah, I'm also giving credit to the Chiefs bench there. This is like that. But no, well done. And then he can go back to his bench. But what do you think? Surprising moment there, interesting moment, and well picked up by the guys here. But however, let's move on to the tactics, the trends, the second goal that Swelele scored against Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to try and highlight the triangulation defending. I'm going to highlight the group defending from both teams in this moment. When you roll and go to that moment, you're going to see it clearly that Kaizer Chiefs is the team that starts. I'm looking at that 3 versus 1 against Mohammed. Kaizer Chiefs are trying to win that ball back. They win it back. Great. But look at the attitude again. It becomes a 3 versus 2 in this moment. It's Celtics 10 now with Lungu, with Magaman. Again, is that triangulation defending. 3 versus 1 in this moment. Look at Magaman trying to take away space and time. They finally win the ball back. Now that triangulation and the 3 versus 2 in this moment, they're trying to go on attack now. This is Bloom Celtic. The hand of God is on Jezza. He's going to go on and score the goal in this moment. One thing about the Kaizer Chiefs back four, not correctly coordinated in this moment. Look at the space in behind. Now, Potsani says, I want to play that ball through for you to be able to run on to Lungu because the Kaizer Chiefs back four is not well coordinated. What do I mean? I'm pausing it here to say, Marco is dropping off. The other 3 are keeping their line. Now, Marco plays everybody on side in this moment. As soon as Lungu picks up that ball, he says, I'm going to want Marco to come and address me. So the error of Marco going to address him, Marco is trying to delay him because on the opposite side, the space opens up on top. Because when that space opens up, Jezza says, give me the ball, I'm alone. You can see Marco is playing me on side. I want to run into that space and capitalize with my speed. Lungu pushes the ball forward and says, I see now the space has opened up. Now it's up to Munyani and Co to go and give the cover. Amakati tries his best to try and recover and clear that ball. But Jezza says, you are not going to take away this opportunity from me. A well-taken goal, good organization in that midfield. They stay compact. That is Welele. Good transitional goal, triangulation, defending, great goal, Jezza.
Sipesife Jezza. And this is another example of what the DDC does. 20-year-old, just given a chance to come up there by Coach Lehlono Lesiema, and then he gets a goal against Kaizer Chiefs.
And they're one of the few PSL clubs that have actually got GDL structures, so it's going from under 13s upwards. So there's a nice stream of players that come through into that DDC. And, you know, obviously from the previous Supersport structure. So long may it last. And you see some great youngsters coming through that route.
Now, my question to both of you. Listen to Lehlono Lesiema after the game. And then I want to understand, like, what is it that we can expect from Swelele going forward for the remainder of the game? Because, I don't know. Coach Siema seems to be saying, or is he? You tell me. The season is done. The job is done. The job we were asked to do is done. What do you think? Take a look.
I'm Mlambo. I'm here, please. I'm not even going to talk about the game now. I want to say, this gentleman here, this guy is here, I'm not alone. We did not do it alone. And I know it's not the last game that we are playing. But it's a game that we are saying, thank you, gentlemen, you worked very hard. This team will be in the Premier League next season. And it's because of this hard work here. It's nothing hard. These people have been doing a lot of things, taking a lot of difficulties from me. And I want to say to you, Jen, I appreciate you and thank you for supporting me. Thank you for steering this ship. Yes, people will say still have 4 games to go, continue our milestone. Our mandate was to make sure that we stay with you. We have achieved it today at home. That is why I will say, gentlemen, I appreciate you a lot. Thank you.
I like Bashera saying, our mandate was to save the team. Because they've got past 30 points. That's usually the magic number in terms of avoiding relegation in the Betway Premiership. But what happens now? Sit up, handbrake up, this is the team.
Enjoy. Not at all. And that's the beauty of the top eight. It's one of the great things about the PSL is that you're always playing for something. And so they've got another target. That they've got.
So then why tell us that now?
Because there's great relief. There's great relief at the fact that they've achieved their mandate.
But that's the problem. Right? That's the thing I'm trying to say. If you've done the mandate, the job that you're asked to do, do they come with a new mandate now? Okay, now you achieved that mandate, new mandate, something.
Thomas, assumption.
He said it.
Yeah?
He just said it. The mandate was to save the team. I've done it with these men here next to me. We have done it, we have saved the team.
Okay. Then there's pockets to play. Top eight is within reach. If they remain consistent enough, they can achieve that top eight spot. Because you can see that there's not been a lot of consistency, especially in the middle part of the table. But what I love about that technical team that Siema has, you see a Willem Jackson, a former Celtic Orlando Pirates player, went to the World Cup with Bafana Bafana. You look at a Siema, former Celtic and Orlando Pirates player, Asera Chiefs, and he has been at Chambita Classic before. So those are the players, former players. It's good to see former players that are leading in different structures in our football. And I'm just happy to see Siema with a technical team that is supported by former players. And obviously you bring other expertise into your technical team. And I think a good job by Siema and the boys.
Now, in a game where Burnley scored 2 goals, Chiefs can't get onto the score sheet, the question becomes, especially to the Amakosi faithful, why were Chiefs unable to find an opportunity to score? Find the back of the net against Burnley. You got this information for us. What do you think?
This is not a criticism of there. First of all, Lilepo is probably one of the best Chiefs players this season.
68 shots. He's had 30 on target this season.
24 goals. So for me, they've done incredibly well compared to last season, out of the top eight. Now they're third. If they want to progress, right? We're always looking for progression. We don't need perfection, we want progression. If they want to progress, I think that Cedric and Khalil really need to work on this man's finishing, his conversion rate. If he can up that up to Shabalala's, for example, to 16%, another 6 goals per set. That's another 10 points from, you know.
And what this is showing us as well is that the unsung hero here is Silva.
Yep.
Yes.
Because 16 shots on target, 7 hitting the back of the they're testing a goal.
They're clinical. And what's phenomenal about Dion is like he's doing it in a team that, for a large part, has been without Ndlovu, who's been one of the more creative players. You know, he doesn't have the same creative players that Pirates and Sundowns do have.
So now, let's move on and take a look at the week that was big for Mamelodi Sundowns. Because against Polokwane City, back-to-back encounters, and the first one taking place at the Seshego Stadium because the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, was going to be speaking at the old Peter Mokaba Stadium. Here's how that goal happens.
You have to give credit to Coach Cardoso. Well, when we speak about the coach's influence, Mutiba has been on the pitch, I think, for 2 minutes or 3 minutes at this point. Mutiba has just come off the bench. His first touch, he sets up Allende for the goal. He gets an assist. And a lot of times you don't give credit to the technical team. There is Mutiba. That is first touch of the game. He lays it off perfectly for Allende, who gets goal number 5 in the league, goal number 6 in all competition. So let's sing the praises of the coach Cardoso to say, impact player of the bench, impacts the game, elevates the game to another level.
Speak about impact. The impact of this man here is maybe not spoken about enough. Marcelo Allende. Because when I asked the research department to say how many goals have been important from Allende this season, all 5 of his goals have been the first goal of the match for Mamelodi Sundowns, which is unbelievable. 2 of them in matches, it's been match-winning goals, like that one against Polokwane City. And then there was one even that was an equalizer against Durban City. I think he's responsible for somewhere around like 13 points individually this season, Allende. And that contribution is not spoken about enough.
Yeah, and he's have to adapt to a different partner now in Mokoena because Adams has dropped to the 6th, and they've done so very, very well. In this particular game, a very narrow field. Polokwane defended very, very well. And we talk about important parts of the game, Pomoza, and we've never really touched on substitutions. There's a lull in the game. You've defended so well. Mutiba comes on. Now you're having to deal with a slightly different type of player, and they just switched off. First touch, great assist from Allende.
I think when you look at Sundowns, we have to be specific in what we're discussing, Matthew, because Mamelodi Sundowns has adapted so well in playing without a 10. Because you look at the role of Mokoena, Adams, and Allende. Their role is to keep rotating in that midfield. You don't know who's sitting at the base of that triangle. Now and then it's Adams sitting on that base. Then they move around. Then it's Mokoena sitting at the base. Allende, it has given him a lot of license to then be in the final third with the tactical switch that Coach Cardoso has done.
I want to leave you guys with the stats as we leave this game and think about how clinical Mamelodi Sundowns have been away from home. Sundowns have scored 15 away goals in 14 away games. You would imagine it would be more, but so many of those away goals have been the winning goals. They haven't scored a lot, but they've been massively important. Now, they could have increased that by virtue of Mutiba scoring from the penalty spot. Let's look at why he was even at that penalty spot for the Panenka penalty that he took. Because here, we see Batlabani tries to kick the ball, and then Ndamani goes down in the box. What happens, and how sure are you this is a penalty?
From this angle, I didn't think it was a penalty. We'll see from a different angle that there was actually contact, but I still don't think it's a penalty because the contact, and I've said this so many times, the contact has to equal the reaction of the player. This is also doesn't show you clearly.
But we'll see the spray of the boot. When Batlabani kicks the boot of Ndamani, the spray flies into the air. Watch here and keep your eye. Watch the spray. And that spray tells you he kicked him.
It was contact, but it's minimal and it doesn't equal Ndamani going down in that fashion. So contact, yes. Penalty, no.
No, there's contact. And when there's contact in the penalty box, you take a risk by lunging in and trying to clear.
But they say the contact must match the falling.
No, Mamela boy. And the penalty.
You say he fell because of the kick.
He was kicked in the box.
Did he fall because of the kick? That's the key here.
He was kicked.
Because that's Matt's point. Did he fall because of the kick?
Then you listen to Pomoto's point. You're telling me about Matthew's point. Pomoto's point. There is contact in the box. He goes down with the penalty.
Thomas, I've said this many times before. If I push Pomoto like that in the box and he does a double somersault forward roll,
which push?
Is that a penalty?
Touch?
If I do that, like,
and
he falls and he does the double somersault.
It's just that
Pomoto says it's contact.
No, but it's not a penalty. Come on.
No, it's just that he's touching me and I'm sitting down. But you are trying with me standing up. I can show you.
And this is the thing. You're a former defender. He's a former striker. That touch means fall.
The referee's got to use their discretion in that moment. I think he got it wrong. I think the action has got to equal the reaction.
Now, the moment here is Mutiba has just come on. And, you know, he said, either he said he wants the penalty or the rest of the team or the technical bench have said, take the penalty. Because he's only got 1 goal in 12 games, 1 assist since arriving at Mamelodi Sundowns. This would have doubled his tally and maybe brought a bit of confidence into his game. Exactly. He chooses the Panenka.
Exactly, and that's why it's such a bad decision. But again, you know, the adrenaline of having that assist coming on, you know, the chance to go ahead, to get his confidence up, he's just sort of slotted this with 1 hard shot down to the keeper's right, you know, no messing about.
Explain to me why he's chosen this. I see it. But why has he chosen, of all the options of how to kick a ball, why choose that one then for this situation?
He just chose the wrong one at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But Panenka doesn't work more.
I've seen Mutiba take penalties before. I've seen now what a top professional he is, that he has represented the country, and I've seen the way that he takes penalties. I don't know a rush of blood in that moment to make that decision. But I know wherever he's sitting watching the show, he knows that it was the wrong decision that he took. And I'm sure that if you give him an opportunity now, he will take it through the lace and thunder that ball into the back of the net.
Now, the 3 points were secured, so it didn't really matter unless goal difference becomes a factor at the end of the season. But there was still the small business of having to do it again against Polokwane City just a couple of days later, this time in Pretoria. And this goal that is scored here, I mean, Sundowns do this so often, that ball in and the clinical finish here.
They actually did this once or twice in the first half away in a very tight pitch, you know, to try and get some relief, and it worked pretty well. And here again, they tried. Reyners here, if you just check him, he just slips there. And Mundlela, who's replaced Nkaki in this particular game because of a yellow card and suspension, just steps back. And I'm not sure why he takes that step backwards. And I think he misjudges the flight of the ball, and this allows Reyners to get back on his feet and get in front of him. Good finish.
The second goal from a throw-in, Pumudzo.
Look at the rotation. It's Adams to Mukwena to Allende. Then it's Shikabala. Excellent pass to be able to find Matthews. One-on-one situations is what Matthews dreams about every day. He cuts inside, he uses the instant technique to be able to kill that ball. The goal comes from a throw-in. The interchange of positions again from the Mamelodi Sundowns midfielders. One thing that they would practice at training is, because of the speed and the skill of Matthews, you want him 1v1 against defenders. The wrong technique in terms of trying to defend from Polokwane City in this moment, because Matthews has got quick feet. As soon as he goes past, he wants to kill it into the back of the net, and a well-taken goal by Matthews.
Matthews clinical with the finish there. Then the third goal for Mamelodi Sundowns. And it's Santos who finds his scoring boots.
Yeah, Matuludi tries to close Santos down, but a clever little chest over the top. Whether he meant or not, I'm not sure. But I think Romaggio just gets a little bit too far forward ahead of Leon there. He doesn't pick up the right positioning. He almost invites that little reverse pass inside. If you just watch here again, Santos picks us up nicely. He draws him in. Romaggio gets across nicely, but then he just steps a little bit too far forward there. And that allows Leon to play the little reverse pass.
What a great run from Santos.
Learning moment from defending point of view from Polokwane City, stay goal side. Both defenders, including Matuludi, an experienced campaigner, they are not goal side, and when that ball is played in from Leon, excellent good finish by Santos.
What does the table tell you, Pumudzo?
It tells you that Mamelodi Sundowns are on top. It tells you that Mamelodi Sundowns are back on top. They've got a game advantage over everyone. We know they've got the game advantage because they have to prepare for a bigger challenge, which is the Champions League. In this moment, Kaizer Chiefs again pushing for that third spot, fighting it out with Amazulu, and I think you can't really rule out as Kupuneni.
Are we going to the last day of the season here?
Possibly, but I think, you know, my moment of the week could very well have been the 6 points against Polokwane. Then the mental fortitude to go away. I thought they were going to drop points away, to be honest, on that very tight pitch in Siseko, you know. But they got 6 points, you know. The back and forth between Pirates, the injuries that they had in that away game, their foreign legion were all out. You know, the pressure was mounting. So that was quite incredible from the leaders.
The big question here is, Kruger United are up. Who will they replace? Automatic. Who will finish in the bottom place on the Betway Premiership table? Orbit, Marumo Gallants, Magesi, Chippa United probably are still in that conversation there. Can we stretch as far as Galaxy? Maybe.
Ukhuluma fast. Kruger seyingenile ilindile.
Yes, but they would. It's just to say handshake with the one coming down. Which one is that one coming down?
Kruger seyiphakathi.
Inside.
Ilinde nje i-handshake.
To say, thank you for last season. I'm replacing you. Thank you very much. Don't know yet who that will be, but the midweek action might give us a sense of that at the bottom of the table as Chippa take on Skokuni. Then Magesi in orbit. What a massive game.
Ungathi ungangizami ngaye ePulukwane. Yabona le Magesi le orbit.
Yeah.
Massive. That's the one for me for this. For midweek, Magesi orbit for me is the big one, mate.
Sundowns Chiefs. That is massive. Make sure you're with us for the build-up. That's going to be an hour long for that one. It begins at 6:30 on Wednesday night, and we'll tell you everything you need to know about those two sides as they sit in the top 3 of the Betway Premiership, and massive implications potentially there as to where the league title will go. It's unmissable. Quick break. Extra time is also unmissable because after the break, it's Nedbank Cup time. Eyes were on what was going to be taking place in Polokwane as we saw the final of the Nedbank Cup, the Cup of Dreams, and the opportunity for Durban City to make their dreams come true and put their name on the trophy for the very first time, or would Galaxy do it for the second time? It started out with action here, and Lubumba here, maybe should have done a bit better to put his team into the lead.
Yeah, he tries to do a little bit too much there. I think he should the cross was powerful enough for him to just let it hit his head and glide it across. And here he was he was involved right from the get-go. I think, it's not a place, an area where you want your striker to be. And obviously being a left-footed, he tries to clear it with his left foot when he should really have used his right.
Bernard Parker.
Yeah, he hits the top corner.
Celebrating. We saw Leswalo, and it looked like maybe he'd been the one to score. It's an own goal.
Yeah, but I don't understand how Lutsualo gets his head to the ball around 4 defenders. Determination. The young Mahlambi, look at Lutsualo, there's 4 players around him, but he still gets a clean header. I thought the young Mahlambi had gotten the goal, but Luamba actually scores an own goal.
What's he trying to do? Like, what was he trying to attempt to do?
No, he wanted to send it to Rosette.
Kick it over the crossbar.
Rosette. That's what he wanted to do. But now, with a lot of that energy, he ends up putting it in the back of his own net. But what I need to give credit to Luamba for is that mental strength. He does not drop his head after that own goal, Thomas. He soldiers on and he goes on to get a goal in the final.
The equalizer does come though. Durban City find it in the second half. Free kick given. Let's start here by what causes the free kick. Enough there? Little tug, little push, little shove?
Yeah, it's difficult to say from this distance, but Mojana gets really too tight and he gets caught down the line. So that was a mistake. And then Zindolgo gets that little touch in across that very good cross. And it's a centre-back's finish, Thomas. Very cool and calm from Mkize. Great finish from him.
Now Mkize, the centre-back. Unexpected. Matthew Booth smiling from ear to ear because it is a centre-back that finds the goal here. And clinical as well. Perfect finish. But guys, I want to talk about the situation here that why is it that TS Galaxy defense is so switched off? The referee doesn't even know there's going to be a quick take here. Look here, the ref is facing away. He's not even facing the action. All the Galaxy players are probably thinking ref is going to blow the whistle. They're setting up. And then suddenly, hey, it's on.
You need to take advantage when your opponents go to sleep. They fall asleep there.
No referee.
No, but what I'm saying is, if the referee had said to the free kick taker to say, wait for my whistle,
yes,
then you can play a quick one.
He didn't say that.
No, he didn't say wait for my whistle. He didn't show the whistle to say wait for the whistle.
But as he's walking,
so therefore, when he's looking away, when TS Galaxy are waiting for the ref to take his position and then blow the whistle, they see an advantage. Durban City, they play a quick one. Mkize switched on in the far post. That touch from Zindonga, crucial. Mkize in the far post, in the back of the net.
We're assuming that the referee didn't say that because the wall, as you can see from that camera angle, was not really set.
Yes.
So,
and he would have said retake. Had he said wait for that whistle, you couldn't have taken quickly.
As a defending team, normally you go stand on the ball. That forces the referee to take you back 10 yards. And it forces the referee to tell the free kick taker to wait for his whistle. That clearly doesn't happen. and Durban City take advantage of this in a very
Look
clever
at the ref's
fashion.
reaction. He's like,
Yeah. He's got his
okay, I'm
back
going
turned
to a
the player.
position, I'm going to blow the whistle, and then he actually catches him by surprise. Look at the ref's reaction here as we go, okay.
And
Right.
Thomas,
Hey, it's on.
Thomas, I don't know who the player is, but he's walking backwards. The defending player is walking with his back to the from the free kick taker. And from a young age, as a coach, from 5 years old, you teach youngsters never to turn your back on play, whether it's a throw-in, a free kick, a goal kick, a corner, whatever. So not very good defending from TS.
They're back, Durban City. Quick thinking, great goal. Centre back puts them back in the match, and then the winner. Missed tackle.
Why is the skipper sliding? Why is Mbunjani not staying on his feet? Because the important for me there is for Mbunjani to stay on his feet for as long as possible. If he needs to force a tactical foul, he can do that. Luamba says, I've scored an own goal, but I'm looking for that opportunity to redeem myself. And he redeems himself with a great goal that he scores. You can see Mbunjana a little bit disappointed. Now look at that diagonal ball. Now Mbunjana, stay on your feet there. Stay on your feet. Because if you go down, you have to win the ball. He does not win the ball. That inch of seconds that Lumba finds, he says, I'm going to capitalize in this moment, because it forces ego to go cover Mbunjana. So it leaves Luamba one-on-one with the defender. He scores a great goal, and that's why when you look at KZN, they're celebrating the Nedbank Cup for the first time. I know that Arrows had won the MTN 8 in 2009, but this is the first Nedbank trophy that is going to a KZN team.
I can't believe none of you chose that strike as a 30-second strike as the best moment of the week. I mean, did you see?
Yeah.
Showing a cut, he cuts it.
Yeah, I don't think
Cuts it to the post.
I think he does well to get something on that, but it's not something that he does intentionally, Thomas.
It's a shicer.
Yeah. I don't think it's a well struck shot, but it works out for him. And of course, on a little bit of a sad note, after the game as well, Darren Keat retiring at the end of the season. You know, a 36-year-old, so a little bit sad, but a great way to end his formidable career by winning the Nedbank Cup.
So there you go. Nedbank champions. What a feeling that must be as far as Durban City are concerned. However, the feeling of lifting the trophy can only come greater as we take you to what the World Cup will be like on the World of Champions. Just to give you that reminder. Just to remind you of how many matches we're showing you, which is everything. How many days we're on air, which is every day of the World Cup. Make notes, take a look at this, send your tweets through as well, and tell us how excited you are, because when it comes to the World Cup, even in this show, I could have told you a bit more things about the league, but everything can wait, because the World Cup is coming.
Allow me to take you on an international trip.
Our eyes are on the FIFA World Cup.
Oh, goal! 10 African nations in the FIFA World Cup.
The African continent believes.
Over the next 39 days.
Which team you follow?
Morocco.
Fantasy League.
Dikoloto.
Outfits of the day.
Complaining that DSTV subscription is expensive in 2026? That can wait.
Everything can wait.
All eyes on the FIFA World Cup.
On DSTV and GoTV.
10 African nations, 104 games, 39 days, and these are the matches in the first week of the World Cup that you can't miss. This is unmissable African action. We're on the African continent, and look at that. We open the World Cup with South Africa. Then Brazil are in trouble against Africa's best side, Morocco. Egypt take on Belgium. Easy there. Then...
Oh man, who's in trouble? There's a serious game there.
Where?
France, Senegal.
A repeat of the opening game of the 1998 World Cup where Senegal shocked France.
Yabona for me, kuna madabi la itu. Yabona le Mexico, South Africa, kuna grudge nyana la. But le Senegal, France.
Hey, both countries speak French. So many of the French side can maybe track their ancestry back to Africa, back to a country like Senegal as well. There's always extra spice for Senegal when they play France.
Yeah, because of their ties, obviously colonial ties, and then obviously the number one fixture for me is the opening game. 100,000 Mexicans, strong psychological performance needed from South
Memories
Africa.
for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, You don't need to say any more.
No, say something.
I saw grown men.
What is the special memory there for you when you look at Mexico, South Africa?
I saw grown men in that warm-up cry that I never thought would cry before.
You're talking about 2010 when you were in the warm-up for Bafana Bafana.
Yeah. It was a fantastic, performance from us. Unfortunate not to hold on to those 3 points, and I think if we can get a point from that game, it'll put us in great, in good stead for the last 2 games.
You didn't say Messi was going to go down to Algeria.
Messi?
Argentina?
Messi to Algeria.
You didn't say he's going down. The defending champions are going down.
You must say the defending champions coming up against Algeria. The man that lifted the last World Cup trophy, Messi, against Algeria. Mamela, all the games are live.
It was over 90.
Cool.
It was over 90. This World Cup, 10 African nations, guys. It's going to be too good. Thank you for being with us on the World of Champions, giving you extra time as usual. Matthew Booth, loved it. Thank you. At the far post, it's Nenze Nice, it's the bold and the beautiful, giving his perspectives on that. And then the most important of all, thank you at home, because the tweets that you were sending through, loved reading them. I'm sure the viewers loved your perspectives as well. Keep them coming through on hashtag SSDiski. You've been updated. This has been Extra Time. I'm your jersey number 10. See you Wednesday, because that's going to be big, right? That's going to be massive. Good night.